Okay, we're going to start off with the two transform buttons. I've changed those to alternate and control to give you different functions in the Xponent. As you can see, when you push them, different things light up. You'll see what they actually give you access to shortly. First thing we're going to do, we're going to check out deck loads and scrolling. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to scroll through. I'm going to take the mouse. I'm going to go over to the index. If you hold Alt and Control together and move the left jog wheel, it'll scroll you through anything in the index. And once you get to something highlighted, if you tap the jog wheel, it will open up that particular file or folder, so you can look through it. Now the quick thing, if you want to quickly access folders in the index, right gain kill plus control will give you your database. Right high kill plus control will give you files. Right medium kill plus control will give you crates. Right low kill plus control will give you playlists. And left high kill plus control will give you snapshots. So for what I'm going to need, I'm going to go into playlists. I'm going to open that up. I'm going to scroll down to Man in the Mirror here. I mean, and this can just as easily be done with the mouse up here, so it's not necessary to do it, but it's there if you need it. Now I'm going to load the decks. Deck loads are simply control plus deck switch 1, 2, 3, or 4. One of those 4, it will load that particular deck with whatever track you select. So I'm going to load Prince Sign of the Times into track 3, into deck 3, as you can see there. I'm going to load Be Happy into deck 1. I'm sorry, deck 1. Going to load Michael Jackson Man in the Mirror into deck 2. And I'm going to load this Fantasy Lead here into deck 4. All 4 decks are loaded. Everything's ready to go. I'm ready to play. Next thing I'm going to show you guys is external control. As you can see, deck 1 or A and deck D are both in vinyl control mode. As you can see, control 1 over on deck A, control 2 on deck D. So if I was to that's that. Same thing with over here. If I wanted to switch deck controls, I would simply hold alternate and press deck switch 1 for the left side. I now have vinyl control over deck B. Same thing applies over here on the right side. If I simply hold alternate, press deck switch 4. It's now controlling deck C. So that's external control switching. I can also do line switching for any one of the 4 decks, which means if I want to play an external source, say if I have something else plugged in besides the turntables, or if I have CD players, or if I have another DJ feeding in, or if I have Ableton or something else and I want to run it in, I would simply just hold alternate and press gain kill. Now if you notice on the screen on the mixer for deck 3, deck C, the line switch turned on right next to where it says C. If I let go of alternate, the light goes off, but if I hold it, it tells me that line switch is on. What that does is give me access to, if I want to play an external source. So just going to throw in a piece of vinyl here real quick, just to let you know, just to show you that it actually works. Oh, one caveat: you must turn off vinyl control, otherwise Torq is going to listen for the vinyl control signal and act a little crazy. So that's line switching, and that works for all 4 decks. As you can see, deck D is now in line mode. Same thing over here. It's just alternate and kill depending on the deck that you're in. Another thing, what's something else I've noticed, once you switch out of line mode on whichever deck is in vinyl control, as you heard, there's going to be some feedback. So what I would advise is if you're using a line that's in vinyl control, before you switch it back, turn the volume down, turn the line switch off, and just give your control vinyl a little nudge. That will get rid of the feedback signal. Okay, next up, we're going to have cue point juggles. I'm going to show you this really quickly with deck 1, and this works for all 4 decks. You simply hold Ctrl and one of your 5 cue point juggles. You just tap 1, and that immediately places it into juggle mode. Now you can. Life is too short. And as long as you hold it, as long as you hold the cue point, it will play. Once you let it go, it stops. Very simple. Another quick tidbit. Let's just put this in master. Switch that out here. I'm going to put this in a quick loop. I'm going to sync this deck to it. Whenever you do cue point juggling for something that's in sync, it will immediately take it out of sync. It will leave the pitch exactly as what you synced it at, but it will turn sync off so you can punch it in wherever you want to. So it's not going to line up exactly with whatever the master tempo is. You'll be able to punch in as you see fit. So. And that's cue point juggling. Works for all 4 decks. You just simply switch whichever deck you happen to be in. That's the one you're going to be able to control. So. And that's that. Next thing we're going to work on is effects. Quick thing. First thing I'm going to show you is how to bypass your effects. If you have effects going on any particular deck, if you have effects going and you want to bypass them, simply hold alternate and press PFL. It turns the effects off. When you hold it, it lets you know if the effects are actually on or off. If this light is on, then your effects are being bypassed. Turn it off, as you can hear, the effects are back on. The next thing is the actual effects themselves. I've actually routed them to a 1-button, 1-knob combination. So this now corresponds to effect 1. This is effect 2, effect 3, and effect 4, and it works with deck switching. You will need these 2 buttons to access the extra functions. The knob by itself is going to give you your wet-dry mix. If you hold Ctrl, it will give you your parameter knob, the second knob, as you can see on the screen on deck B. The button by itself simply turns the effect on and off. So you can see the strobe is going on and off. If you hold alternate, however, with the knob, that will allow you to select your effect. You can change whichever effect is in there as you please. This is good for if you want to program a quick snapshot. You can do that, program it in. And then if you hold alternate and press the parameter button, it switches between send modes, and that works for all 4 decks, as you can see. If you turn this off, typically I keep the effects window in showing all 4 effects plus the VST, just to give you a quick view to let you know that yes, you can adjust all 4 effects, and that works for all 4 decks, and it works with deck switching. So if I switch decks, as you can see, I'm now in deck A, changing that around, and all of your effects parameters are available to you. Again, by itself, wet, dry. With alternate, select your effect. With control, it's your parameter. The button by itself is on, off. With alternate, it's your route. And with control, it's the parameter. Next item on the list is going to be instant doubles. You can pretty much, whichever deck you happen to be in, you can instantly load from any of the other 3 decks that happen to be playing. So let's just say you want to place Man in the Mirror into deck A, where Mary J. Blige Be Happy is. You simply hold alternate and you press 2 for deck B, 4 for deck C, 8 for deck D. These 3 buttons correspond to whichever 3 decks you're not currently using. So like I said, if I want to load Michael Jackson into deck A, push that, that's now down there. If I want to load Sign of the Times, push 4. If I want to load Fantasy Leads, push 8. And that works for all 4 decks. On this side, it's 2, 4, and 8 over here. Just give you a quick example. Let's reload that. If I'm in deck B. If I hit 2, I'm going to get Mary J. Blige Be Happy in deck C. If I hit 4, I'll get Michael Jackson Man in the Mirror. If I hit 8, I'll get Fantasy Leads. That's there. And again, just simple to just reload that. Just control and deck switch 3. That's deck switching. Next thing I want to show you guys is the sample bay. I actually have loaded into my, I actually have 64 samplers set up in Torq. You can go into the preference files. It shows you on the forums how to do it, but you can change the amount of samplers that you have in Torq. Like I said, I have 64 in there, but I have 20 programmed onto the Xponent. The 5 cue point buttons and the 5 buttons below that, the transport and key buttons, now activate the 20 samplers. All you have to do is hold Alt, and it gives you access to your samplers. Very simple. It's going to look for a tempo to sync to, so let's just sync it to Sound of the Times real quick. That's very simple. Let's put that in a 1-bar loop. Mute that. Now it's better that you set up your samples, the timing on them and their loops beforehand. If you just want a quick hitter to announce your name or whatever the case may be, that's fine. If you want to set up a loop to go with a beat, that works too. Let's take this out here. As you can see, when I hit this one over here, it wasn't in a loop. That actually was this sample here, number 11. If I put it in loop to play along, but like I said, you have 20 samples available to you now. 1 through 5 here, and these 5 here. That's 1 through 5 and 6 through 10 down here. Then you have 11 through 15 and 16 through 20 here. Whatever you want to load into your sample base now, instead of having to reach over and click, or an extra Midi whatever controller, just You can load a track, a sample, a sound, whatever you want to load into there. Drum beats, you can sit there and finger drum to your heart's content. It will work. And that's it. That's the whole tutorial. That's everything that we have going on with the Xponent that I programmed in. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up on the forums on DJ Tech Tools or on Torq-DJ.com. Again, this is DJ Administer, and I hope you enjoyed the mapping.